Signs that your mind is spoiling your spiritual journey. On the spiritual path, especially when I look at students from automatic writing, they ask me, how do we know that the messages that we are getting, is it from our mind or is it from the angels or the universe? But even in general, what is the role of our conscious mind in spoiling our spiritual journey? The spiritual journey is all about understanding and getting messages from the universe, opening our portals to receiving the energy of the universe, the spiritual values of the universe, the oneness, and feeling that you are vibrating at a higher energy, the energy at which the universe is vibrating. But even people who are pursuing the spiritual path end up channeling the collective consciousness, which means the consciousness and the energy of the world. It could be fear, it could be insecurity, it could be mistrust, it could be brutality or violence with the wars that are going on. So instead of opening our energy portals to the universe, we end up opening our portals to these lower energies, and our mind actually has a large role to play in this. The first point is that when we are awake and conscious, our conscious mind is at play. So are our conditioned automatic patterns. We all have conditioned patterns that come from our value systems, our early childhood years, and what we are taught about various things in life like money, love, marriage, responsibility, duty, all of that. When we are awake and conscious, this is the mind that is at play. Mostly we operate from our subconscious patterns and not from universal intelligence. And there are, of course, ways to understand how to operate from that. The spiritual seeker has either too much of logic or too much of emotions. Again, this depends upon how they were brought up. If they were brought up by a very logical, practical family, then they would be people who can be cynical, believing in only what they can see, not really trusting the energy. Some are so emotional that they are unable to look beyond their own emotions. And both emotions and logic are ruled by the mind. What are some of the signs that your mind is interfering in your channeling, your messages, or in your spiritual journey? The first is that you are projecting your need as a channeled message. For example, there is a need to have a companion. You would end up saying that I have channeled through automatic writing or any other way that my guides are telling me that I need a partner in my life, thinking that we are progressing when it is not so. Many people have this joyous understanding that they are really progressing on the spiritual path, though they do not have any progress that they can measure. So remember that if your health, your relationships, your money, your stature, your confidence, your weight, if all of this is not changing noticeably, then progress is not being made. And this you have to be very careful about. What can be measured can be corrected, what can be measured can be understood. Multiple spiritual seekers are often seen to be wanting to create a community and do group channeling. But unless people have done their own internal work with dedication, clarity, and patience, inviting other similar energies is only going to add chaos to the equation. Nothing against group channeling or the collective energy, but imagine coming together with a bunch of people who have only understood spirituality or spiritual modalities by attending one or two workshops. It's going to create more chaos and not a deeper understanding. The mind also sometimes makes us believe that there is no progress, that all this is foolish, This is also the play of the mind. Beware. The mind also will tell you on this path, I can't do this. This is not possible. I may not have done enough in my previous lives, or that people have more meditation experience or spiritual experiences in this life. I don't want to do this. This is also a play of the mind. The human mind can trick us into not going to the spiritual path. Why? Because the mind has figured out its own neural pathways and it's comfortable in that arena. So you get comfortable in doing the things that you're comfortable doing. For example, if your response to a party or a get together is usually to refuse and say that I just want to be in my own space because you're really socially anxious, then that's what is comfortable for the mind. Anything that deviates you from going into that zone of your own self will be a challenge for the mind, and the mind will make excuses for you not to do it. Similarly, the spiritual path is something that the mind will have to recondition itself for, and it finds that difficult. So make no mistake, the mind has a big role to play in stopping your spiritual journey, but by viewing these signs and understanding them, you can understand that it is your mind at play and become self-aware, self-correct yourself, and be on the path.